Today we're doing Math 6, Mission 2, Lesson 15, part-whole ratios. All right, determine if each problem is true or false. So we have 1/5 times 45 equals 45/5. Well, I know that 1/5 times 45 is like doing 45 over 1. And then when I multiply fractions, I just multiply the top and the bottom across. So we have 1 times 45 and 5 times 1. 1 times 45 is 45. 5 times 1 is 5. So that is true. 1/5 times 20 equals 1/4 times 24. Well, 1/5 times 20 would be like doing 20 over 5, and it's saying that that's equal to 24 over 4. Well, 20 divided by 5 is actually 4, because 4 times 5 is 20, and 24 divided by 4 is actually 6. So they are not equal. So this is false. 42 times 1/6 equals 1/6 times 42. Well, in multiplication, it doesn't matter which order you multiply in. So this would be true because of the commutative, that's a big word, commutative property of multiplication. Okay. Now let's look at the next one. 486 times 1/12 equals 480 twelfths plus 6 twelfths. Well, 486 times 1/12 would be 486 twelfths. And we can add, because we have common denominators, we can add these across. So 480 plus 6 would be 486 over 12. So 486 twelfths is equivalent to 486 twelfths. So this is true. Alrighty, let's look at our next problem. It says you're going to explore paint mixtures, and we're going to draw some cubes to represent those. So in order to make a particular green paint, we need to mix 1 milliliter of blue paint and 3 milliliters of yellow paint. So although we're not doing what's on the screen right now, I'm going to talk you through this really quick. So we have 3 milliliters of yellow paint. So that looks like this. So 3 milliliters of yellow paint. So 1 milliliter each cube, right? And then we have 1 milliliter of blue paint. Oh no, it jumped on us. Well, we had 3 milliliters of yellow and 1 milliliter of blue. And it will not have saved that, so we're gonna have to redo that. Okay, here we go. So we have 1 milliliter of blue, and then 3 milliliters of yellow. Okay, so how much green paint will this recipe yield? Well, when we put 3 milliliters of one plus 1 milliliter of another, it'll yield 4 milliliters total of green paint. Because when we mix yellow and blue together, we get green. So what happens if each of these cubes actually equal 2 milliliters instead of 1 milliliter? How much blue and yellow do we get now? Well, we get, instead of 1 milliliter, these would now be 2 milliliters each. So 2, 4, 6, 8, we would have 8 total milliliters of green paint. So we could refer to the 2 milliliters, so this one, this 8 milliliter total, as 2 batches of the green paint, because this would be 1 batch and this is doubled that batch, so it's 2 batches. All right, so let's look at this activity 1. It says a recipe for maroon paint says, oh, I don't know why it does that on me. A recipe for maroon paint says to mix 5 milliliters of red paint with 3 milliliters of blue paint. Answer the following questions about this recipe. Use snap cubes to represent the amounts of red and blue paint in the recipe. We're actually just going to skip and draw the sketch of our snap cubes. So basically a snap cube is a square. It's a cube, but we're going to draw it as a square on our paper here. So we're going to draw 5 milliliters of red paint with 3 milliliters of blue paint. So I'm going to draw 5. So that's worth 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So that equals 5 red. And then we're going to draw 3 milliliters of blue. And notice I've made them look equal. So we have 3 blue. Okay. So we've drawn our sketch. What amount does each cube represent? Well, there are 5 boxes here, so 5 red, and 3 boxes here, 3 blue. So it should represent 1 milliliter of paint. Each box represents 1 milliliter of paint. Whether red or blue, it does equal 1 milliliter of paint. How many milliliters of maroon paint will there be? Well, that would be combining red and blue together. So there's 5 red plus 3 blue to get us, 5 plus 3 is 8 milliliters of paint, of maroon paint. Okay, because when we combine red and blue together, we get maroon for this mixture. All right. Suppose each cube represents 2 milliliters. All right, so we now are doing 2 milliliters instead of 1 milliliter. So if I go back up to my drawing, instead of doing 1, we're going to count it as 2. So this is actually going to be 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, so that would mean I would have 10 red and 6 blue. Okay, so how much of color would there be? Well, there would be, we originally had 5, but now they're equal to 2, so we have 10 red and 6 blue and 3 blue, right? Red, blue. So how much maroon paint do we have in all? Well, 10 plus 6 is 16. Suppose each cube represents 5 milliliters. How much paint is there? Well, if you noticed, we took the original ratio and multiplied it by 2 to get me 10. The original ratio multiplied by 2 to get me 6. So if we want to do 5, we have to take the original recipe, which is 5 red, and multiply it by 5. 5 times 5 is 25, because each one of these represents 5 now. So 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And then this is 5, 10, 15. So how much blue is there? Well, 5 times 3 is 15. So 25 plus 15 is 40. But look, could we do, we said the original amount was 8. So could we do 8 times 5? 8 times 5 equals 40. Okay. Oops. That's not, I'm going to put this on Do Not Disturb so we don't get anything in the way. Okay. Suppose you need 80 milliliters of maroon paint. How much red and blue paint would you mix? Be prepared to explain your reasoning. Well, let's think this through. It's kind of going to be hard to figure out red and blue, but we know 80. Now, we know our original was 8. So 8 of the maroon, now we need it to be 80. So how do we get from 8 to 80? Well, that would be 8 times 10. So we're going to take the original red, which is 5, and the original blue, which is 3, and we're going to multiply it by the same factor, because what you do to one side, you do to the other. So 5 times 10 would be 50, and 3 times 10 would be 30, and 50 plus 30 equals 80. So if the original recipe is for 1 batch of maroon paint, how many batches are in 80 milliliters of maroon paint? Well, what did we multiply each one of these by? We multiplied it by 10. So there would be 10 batches. All right. Let's save that, so if it jumps on me, we won't lose it all. Activity 2. It says, solve each of the following problems and show your thinking. If you get stuck, consider drawing a tape diagram to represent the situation. All right, so the ratio of students wearing sneakers to those wearing boots is 5 to 6. Okay, so we have 5. I'm going to draw a tape diagram. So 5 that are wearing sneakers and 6. Ooh, I knew it was going to jump on me. It loves to jump on me. Okay, here we go. It did it again. Naughty thing. Stop jumping. All my kids want to do is learn. Okay, let's give it a second to catch up with us. So we have 5 kids wearing, or the ratio is 5 wearing sneakers and 6 wearing boots. So we're going to go like this, and we're going to do sneakers equals a tape diagram. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then boots is 5 and then an extra because they actually are doing 6. Like that, right? So this equals 5 and this equals 6. Okay, there are 33 students in the class and all of them are wearing either sneakers or boots. How many are wearing sneakers? Okay, so we would need to know the total number of students in this ratio. So 5 plus 6 is actually 11. So this diagram right now shows 11 students, but there are 33 students. So we need to do 33 divided by 11. 33 divided by 11 is 3. So each one of these boxes equals 3 kids. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, so how many of them are wearing sneakers? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 3. 5 times 3 gets us 15. So 15 students are wearing sneakers. All right, let's go to 2. A recipe for chicken marinade says mix 3 parts oil with 2 parts soy sauce and 1 part orange juice. So if I'm going to draw that, we have oil. Ooh, it is jumpy, jumpy, jumpy today. Okay. Oil is 3. Soy sauce is 2. And orange juice is 1. Okay. If you need 42 cups of marinade in all, how much of each ingredient should you use? Well, how many cups are there total? Well, we have 3 plus 2 plus 1, which is 6. So I'm going to take 42 and divide that by 6, which should equal 7 cups. So, oh, sorry, not 7 cups. It just equals 7. So each one of these, if we're doing 42 cups of marinade, each one of these boxes is worth 7. 7 oil, 7 soy sauce, 7 OJ. Okay, so how much of each ingredient should you use? Well, with oil, that's going to be 7 times 3 because there's 3 boxes, which is 21. So we need 21 of oil. That would be 7 times 2 for soy sauce, which is 14 for soy sauce. And then we do 7 times 1, which is 7 for OJ. So there's that. All right, last one. Elena makes fruit punch by mixing 4 parts cranberry juice to 3 parts apple juice to 2 parts grape juice. If one batch of fruit punch includes 30 cups of apple juice, how large is this batch of fruit punch? All right, so I'm going to draw it out. So we have 4 parts cranberry juice. Cranberry juice equals 4 parts. Apple juice equals 3 parts. And grape juice equals 2 parts. Okay, so now it gives us specifically apple juice. If these 3 parts equal 30 cups, how much does each part equal? Well, that would be 30 divided by 3, which is 10. So each one of these is 10. And since all of them have to be the same, that means each one of these is also 10. So how large is this batch of fruit punch? Well, it's basically asking us how many cups is that? Okay, so how many cups? We know there are 30 cups of apple juice. How many cups of cranberry juice are there? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I guess there's 40. But that would be 4 times 10, which is 40. And then we already know there's 30 cups of apple juice. And then grape juice would be 10 times 2, which would be 20. So 40 plus 30 plus 20 is 90. So there are 90 cups of fruit punch. So this batch is 90 cups of punch. All right, please review your lesson summary.